Hey everyone, welcome back to the special edition of the GeoInterview. Today, we have the honor of hosting His Excellency, the Swiss Consul General, Mr. Martin Maier. Mr. Martin, how are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's an honor for us to host you. And in today's discussion or the interview with Mr. Martin, we're going to be talking about the Swiss diplomacy and our bilateral relationship with them. So, sir, Switzerland declared itself as a neutral state with the signing of the Hague Convention in 1907 and has not engaged in any war over 3 centuries despite possessing one of the most advanced armies in the world. What is your opinion on Switzerland's stance on neutrality and its potential trajectory going forward?
Thank you. Yes, neutrality as a part of international law was indeed codified in 1907 in the Hague Convention. However, the internationally recognized Swiss neutrality goes back to the Vienna Congress of 1814-15, where modern Europe was created. The then European powers, Austria, France, and Prussia, wanted to have a neutral zone in the heart of Europe and forced actually Switzerland to be neutral. The idea of the Swiss neutrality, however, even goes back to the Battle of Marignano in the 16th century, when too many young Swiss were fighting and dying on foreign battlegrounds as mercenaries, and the people of today's Switzerland wanted to stop this. Permanent armed neutrality is a principle of Swiss foreign policy. It is a generating source of peace and stability in Europe and beyond. It ensures the country's independence and the inviolability of its territory. However, neutrality does not mean indifference. While we are not actively participating in any armed conflict, we do stand for peace and respect of international law. Switzerland, for example, opposed the Russian war against Ukraine from the beginning and stands also for its principles as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council in 2023 and 2024. While Switzerland reflects and adapts constantly the political side of neutrality, for example, when it comes to sanctions against warmongering countries, there is no question that we want to uphold it when it comes to active participation in conflicts.
So I think the importance as the world gets more, as the polarity increases in this world, I think the importance of neutrality is only going to increase, and Switzerland stands as an example of the neutrality that it portrays onto the world order. With that, I would like to ask you about, as the world is getting more economically challenging, right? Switzerland has emerged as one of the leading nations when it comes to GDP per capita. So I want to know your views about what do you think, or how has Switzerland utilized its primary sectors propelling its economy?
The most important resource Switzerland has is our people. Switzerland is investing heavily in education and has one of the most successful dual education systems in the world. Vocational training is highly elaborated and regarded in Switzerland and enables us to have the necessary non-academic talents for a smooth functioning of our economy. 99% of all companies in Switzerland are SMEs. These small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of our economy. Over 75% of Switzerland's economy is in the third sector: trade, hospitality, and the financial sector with banks and insurances are the three most important parts of it. In the secondary sector, Switzerland excels in the field of watch industry, mechanical engineering, precision instruments, pharma, chemical products, food, and medical techniques. As a small country without natural resources besides people, Switzerland is one of the most open economies in the world. This global openness is essential for us And this is why we enlarge constantly our network of free trade agreements. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were able to sign such an agreement with India, and this will bring the excellent relations between India and Switzerland to the next level.
So building upon that, I'd like to further ask you about the recent agreement, right? And your views on the recent agreement that India and EFTA signed. Now, the current bilateral trade between India and Switzerland stands across $17 billion. How do you think the agreement would benefit both the nations in, let's just say, increasing up the trade more?
Please let me first put the numbers in perspective. Over 90% of the Swiss exports to India is gold and other precious metals. Switzerland has some of the most important refineries in the world and guarantees the quality. But all the gold we refine is imported to Switzerland and exported after process. Switzerland is therefore a mere transit country for India's precious metal imports, and taking it out of the trade balance shows that India has an important trade surplus with Switzerland. As I mentioned before, the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, TEPA, will elevate our bilateral relations to a next level. One of the most interesting parts of the TEPA is the commitment of Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland to invest $100 billion in the next 15 years and create with this investment 1 million jobs in India. This commitment has never been seen in other such agreements and lays the firm foundation for a mutually beneficial economic partnership between the EFTA countries and India.
Okay. This EFTA agreement, right, is something that's being looked up in India with a lot of hopes, and let's just hope that as we plan, these plans come to the future or come to prospects. With that, I would want to ask you about what is about the global importance when it comes to the dynamic partnership between India and Switzerland. Furthermore, do you think there are any similarities that exist between the culture of India and Switzerland?
Switzerland is the most innovative country in the world, and India has the ability to bring this innovation on scale to the market. Many Swiss companies are looking into making India an important part of their global supply chain. This collaboration goes through all sectors and specialty, as well as all sizes of companies. Switzerland can learn a lot from India when it comes to digitalization. And I am happy to see that several Indian IT companies already set foot into Switzerland. And this partnership on the same level between India and Switzerland can work as a very strong signal to many countries around the world. Both our countries are multi-ethnic, linguistic, and religious countries firmly based on democratic principles. Although the size differs substantially, we can learn from each other when it comes to a peaceful coexistence, making differences rather an asset than a divisive element. Unity in diversity is for me a way to go in order to create a peaceful and prospering future together.
So while you highlighted the several aspects that sit similar when it comes to India and Switzerland, I think that peaceful coexistence is something that both the countries really signify, and really teach the world how, amidst all of the hubris that they see around us, peaceful coexistence can be a peaceful option. With that, I'd like to come to the commitment to the Paris Agreement, and I would want to ask you, how is Switzerland advancing towards sustainable future and transitioning to a clean energy sources?
Switzerland is committed to the Sustainability Agenda 2030. Like in most of the other countries, this way is not always without bumps, and we struggle from time to time. Our electricity is already now 80% from renewable resources like water and photovoltaic. We want to extend this and move away from polluting energy sources. The problem in it is to find a way which does not harm the economy, and we have there a similar challenge as India has. The recent decision of the European Court of Human Rights against Switzerland shows that we have a lot of homework to do, but I am confident that we will be able to contribute to the global efforts for a sustainable future for us all.
So, could you offer an overview of the impact Swiss businesses have made in Indian development? Particularly, you sit in Bombay, so I think you could further elaborate upon that, including details such as the number of Swiss companies operating in India or maybe the respective industries.
The small country Switzerland has over 300 companies present in India and over half of them in the Maharashtra-Gujarat area. These companies have created more than 100,000 jobs, and 30 of them are maintaining a research and development center in India. Over 100 Swiss companies manufacture in India, and most of them are using India as a manufacturing and export hub for other markets. The most important sectors of Swiss engagement in India are machines, electrical and mechanical engineering, precision industry, pharma, chemicals, food, and med health tech. Two of the most important aspects of Swiss companies being present and invested in India are know-how transfer and professional skilling. This economic partnership of India and Switzerland thus fosters the Indian aim to remain a steadily growing and important economic player globally.
All right. So with that, I would want you to conclude with what advice would you have if, let's just say, you have to give it to the youth as we navigate this ever-changing world? And let's just say, how is it that we can leverage our unique strengths to create positive impact in our communities and beyond? What would you say on that?
Well, as an old man who slowly becomes wiser every day, but still not reached the wise end, for me, it's rather simple. Stay committed, engaged, embrace changes, remain focused but open, as well as curious, and see diversity as a chance. The Indian virtues, flexibility and adaptability, are essential to strive. Continue to respect others and treat everybody in the way you would like to be treated.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Martin, for this short and brief interview or conversation. Now, we hope to have a longer conversation with you someday soon on more aspects of a bilateral relationship. Thank you so much for joining in this conversation, and we're glad to have you here.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.